Hello everybody, a very good morning. It's one of my favourite times of the month. It's that time again where here at Carnation Crafts TV we bring you a new and exclusive collection, and boy what a collection we've got for you today. It's made up of two parts, but to be fair, both go together so well you'll probably want to go for the bigger collection, but it's entirely up to you. It is available in two separate parts with the perfect papers as well. Now what it is all about, this particular launch, is there comes a time in all of our lives where you need to make that really special card when maybe someone has lost someone. It's happened to me recently a few months ago. So getting that right card, getting that right message, saying the right things in the right place at the right time is really, really hard to do if you're a card maker and a crafter. That's really what this collection is all about, although a lot of it can be used in general card making as well, not just for sympathy cards. It's called Held in Our Hearts. We've all got lots of people, I'm sure, that we hold in our hearts, and this collection is all about that. It's stunning, absolutely gorgeous. As ever, the main part of the collection, the main heart of the collection, of course, is the card shape. The hourglass card shape is to die for, absolutely beautiful. You've got your butterflies, you've got your beautiful charms as well, which we'll talk about. We'll explain what those little strips are just down there as well. You've got the winged bird as well. We're calling that the wing beat. You've got the Celebrating a Wonderful Life die. You've got Heartfelt Sympathy. You've got your Broken Heart. You've got the beautiful Teardrop Flourishes as well. So this is part of the collection, but if you're going to go for the bigger collection, you can build your basket and take advantage, of course, of free P&P, and also take advantage of either PayPal Pay in 3 or ClearPay, where you can actually spread the cost over up to 4 interest-free payments. Now, what you're looking at on the screen is what you can see the details for. 221101. It's down from £135.92 to just under £100 at £99.99 with free P&P as well. So not only have you got this incredible collection of beautiful dies, we've got just next to me here, before we say hi to Carla in a second, we've got these gorgeous, and they are stunning, matting and layering dies as well. I've never seen them before or anything like it before. They're called the Hessian edges, okay? So you're going to get your diamonds, you're going to get your rectangles, you're going to get your circles, your ovals, your squares, your texture plate, and also the Hessian edge DL dies as well. Now this is a separate bundle, but as you can probably tell, it works together with the beautiful Held in Our Hearts collection as well. This is £129.99. and that's 221110. So really the best scenario to get the most out of these collections is to buy both together. And of course we've got our perfect papers in the show for you as well, which are just the icing on the cake, because the colour of the perfect papers will go beautifully well with the colours of the vignettes, which of course you can download right now from our website carnationcrafts.co.uk. Absolutely free, you can print them off, but gorgeous, gorgeous, very subtle pastel tones there to work with this collection. So that is available at £14.99, and that's 221118. Now I know an awful lot of you that are Carnation Crafts fans will want all three. So if you want to pop them into your basket, it works like this. Here we go. So we put all three together. So you've got the $99.99, $129.99 and the $14.99, and you get, of course, with our discount code, which is HIO, Held in Our Hearts, H10, okay, for your 10% discount. £24.50 comes off, taking your total down to £220.47 if you want all three things together, and you can spread it with, of course, ClearPay and PayPal Pay in 3 if you wish to. But for those of you that have got a slightly smaller budget and you just want to go for the Held in Our Hearts, or you just love the idea of those wonderful matting and layering dies, they are available as individuals if you'd like it. Now, lovely Carla is here.
Hello, hello. Gorgeous face. Are you all right?
Yeah, good to see you.
I'm very well, thank you very much. Very nice to have you here.
Oh, it's great to be back. One of my favourite times of the month.
It is. We've had a very lovely morning. We've had a very lovely morning, except for I got hacked on Facebook, which has been quite exciting. Who'd have thunk? Who'd have thunk of all the people in the world? Yes, they did. And then on my email as well. They're so rude.
But it's been sorted. Do not worry. So if you get a random message from Carla, ignore it.
Not me.
It's not you.
It's not me. I did not.
Because you're here.
I'm here. I did not do the things. Yeah, so we've got this really beautiful collection for you. So I spoke to some of you yesterday on the Facebook Live. Just a note to say, for those of you at home who may be going through something, all our hugs and love. This is always a difficult situation to tackle when we're talking about sympathy cards, because obviously it's emotive, isn't it? And it can be triggering, so we are aware of that. The collection doesn't circle completely around sympathy, but there are elements to it. But all our love and affection to you all at home.
Absolutely. But to be fair, looking at the hourglass there, I mean, that doesn't say sympathy at all, really, does it?
Not at all. So it wavers between. There are aspects to it. What I think is more essential to know is that everything in this collection can be used for sympathy, and it works beautifully for it. It's done with that grace, that elegance and that gentleness that we were talking about yesterday, and so it works in that way. So let's have a look at the collection. You have got the gorgeous Hourglass card shape here, and this is, I'm going to call it the infinity card shape because that's what it feels like to me, and I think that's appropriate with the sentiment that we're going for here as far as sympathy is concerned, but also as somebody who loves my big chunky cards, I kind of love the fact that this sort of figure eight that you get here is just so chunky and lovely, because it's really, really sweet. I'll just say, Kate, hi Carla, not related to this show, but wondered if all the fireplace back orders have been sent out yet, because I haven't received mine. Kate, I've got no clue, but if you message Carnation Crafts, they will let you know what's going on with the orders. I unfortunately don't see any of that side of it, I'm afraid. So if you just send a message to them, they will get back to you.
And they're great, they will get back to you quickly.
Oh yeah, they're brilliant. So what we're looking at with the main card shape here is that you've got your base card die here, your outside edge, then you've got your mats and your layers. You've got the filigree panel, which is what you're seeing here, this base layer that sits, and that's this piece that you see. Then on top of that, we get this series of layers that come up in order for us to be able to build that height. And if I just raise this...
Yeah, I'm stood at the side. I can see the dimension. Look at that.
Look at that. It's incredible. It's so gorgeous. It's so lovely. And this is the Hourglass card shape. Now, you're going to be able to use this in a lot of different ways. Obviously, as it is, it can be used then on the vertical, horizontal. Oh god, my brain doesn't do the things. On the the horizontal. Yeah. Oh no, the things.
Landscape. That'll do.
That'll do. Landscape or portrait. You can use it on either. You can also score it down the centre and have it in half, which is really, really pretty as well, and use that just as one card base, which looks absolutely stunning. So the Hourglass card shape is going to just take you forward in a lot of different ways. We can also use these instead of layers, we can use them as apertures, which means we can start to build layered apertures just within this one card base.
And again, Carnation are one of the few companies that actually give you the vignettes and the artwork for the frame. Look at that. So you can print that off right now and enjoy that artwork without any delay whatsoever.
Dave. Dave. Wasn't me, Miss Taz, wasn't me. So we get to use this in lots of different ways. This is the artwork that you get with it. You can also obviously cut it in white, cut it in your perfect papers. It depends what look you're going for in the card itself. From there, we have got this gorgeous Hessian plate, and I love this so much. Now, you can see the texture on it, but you can actually feel it. It's all gradient through. Oh, is this not in part of the main? Is this part of the separate, Taz?
This is the mats and layers.
I thought this was all part of the other. I'll come back to this one. Miss Taz is shaking her head furiously at me. Furious. So we'll move on to this one first then. And this is your floral charms. I love these. Now, where you see you've got the little ring here, if you were to place this one inside and slot it through, it sort of hangs as a charm. It's like the idea of a charm bracelet, that kind of same effect.
I asked you earlier on, the three strips, the lines there, I said, what are they? What do you do with those?
Yeah, so you can weave that. So if I just take two of these elements here so you can see what I mean. If I was to place this, can I just slot it through? Can you see? How that goes through as a charm. So they all sit in this gorgeous little charm element that we make. Now you've got this panel here, it's got a free edge at this side, it's got a closed edge at this side, and that means we can weave those strips through. So you can place it and you can do two at once and weave them together, or leave it exactly as it is and you can hang the charms off these pieces. So if you think of that as being portrait and hanging those charms down, they look so sweet. But they're so lovely when we put two of them together, because you can really start to bring it all in and we can see how it all works. So you've got your daisy, your lily, your rose, all your foliage pieces. I love the colour of that one, it's so pretty.
And again, Carnation do something different. I don't think I've seen floral charms like that before with the loops on the end.
It's so cute to have like a little, it's almost that charm bracelet effect, and I absolutely love charm bracelets, so I'm all for it. Good morning, Karen Vincent. I hope you're very, very well.
Oh, we've got loads of you coming through on Facebook as well. June Smith, hi June. Sue Phillips, Georgie Screech, Pam Simpson, Linda Wilson, Katie Scobie, Karen Vincent. Actually, this is really sweet. Linda says, congratulations, Dave, on your award. Oh, thank you ever so much.
Well done.
I'm still in
Mr.
shock.
Crafting Man of the Year.
I'm a man.
Male personality.
I mean, crafting male personality sounds...
I'll take that.
It's good.
I'll take
Dave.
that. So if
We're
you
so
voted,
proud of him.
if you voted, thank you ever so much. Really, really appreciate it. Still in shock.
Dave's one of the loveliest humans I know, so it couldn't have gone to a nicer person because I just love this boy so much. So I'm so chuffed for him.
I'm a boy now. That's even better.
Boy, no, you're going backwards in age, Mr. Bradford.
I wish I could.
It's like the picture of Dorian Gray. So you've got here this gorgeous, gorgeous dove. This is so pretty with this corner element. Now, I was saying yesterday in the Facebook Live, where the green foliage just hits those wings there, those are little pips and they can be cut straight off, which means if you choose to use this separately and individually, you gain a corner element. So it's almost like having two dies in one. So he will float separately, or she, and you can have that element, or we can use it together as those corner elements for a card. So gorgeous to have with that dimension, and the wings, etc., can be decoupaged by cutting two at once.
We don't just use doves for sympathy. Doves get used for weddings and
Weddings,
for happy events.
Peace.
Yeah.
Good morning, Mr. Mark. Everybody look busy. The boss is here. Everyone look busy.
Morning, Mark.
Miss Taz looks panicked in the corner. So we've got here the broken heart. I love this so much. There's something incredibly poignant about this. So you can see it's obviously this beautiful heart charm. It's got the tiny little charm as well, and the feather. Where you see the crack here, just to show you. If I cut that, can you see it's a broken heart?
Oh, I see.
Can you see the little break?
So you can leave it intact.
Leave it intact as a whole heart, or piece it together, and you've got a broken heart.
But also, a lot of people separate hearts. One person has one piece, another person has the other.
And you can do that with those as well. They're so pretty. And the little white feathers, obviously we were saying yesterday, when feathers appear, loved ones are near. So it's got all of those elements to it. It's just a really beautiful collection. And for sympathy cards, it's important to have the tools that we need to know that we are always going to be appropriate in what we send to people who are going through, you know, such a difficult time. And I think this just lends itself really, really well to that. It's got that really beautiful edge to it.
But having said that, this next board could be used for anything.
I think the majority of stuff in here, I think the only two things that in my head, where I'm thinking at the moment, that would just purely be for sympathy would really be the sentiments. Everything else will play beautifully with any of your collections, as do all of Carnation stuff. So, you know, it's mainly the sort of the two sentiments that would play directly to sympathy cards. So here you've got all these gorgeous flourishes that we've got, and they're little background flourishes, and they're so pretty. I particularly love this one that's got that kind of resonance of a cross. And you've got the two colourways there, so you've got the blue and then the kind of cream colour coming through. These gorgeous little flowers which sit perfectly within these squares, and then the tiny ones that you can sit on top of that to decoupage those up. Then you've got the gorgeous little squares. Now obviously you can turn them for diamonds as well, or you've got your little tuck-ins. That board in itself is a crazy set of tools for your crafting.
Absolutely.
Because you can use them again and again and again in so many different ways. When it comes to Christmas, to be able to cut certainly these out, which have got that kind of element of a snowflake coming through, to cut them out in mirror card, to cut them out in white. Yes, Miss Taz
has got her hand up.
Just so the deal of the day today is wonderful, like Christmas flowers. They look lovely with those, I'm just saying.
Have you got time to whip to the website or not?
Yeah.
We're just going to have a look at the deal of the day, just because Miss Taz is saying that she's...
That would look really nice with...
Which ones is it? Oh,
these.
yes, the little and large die set. You know what? If anybody saw the quick cards that we did the other day, these are quite a similar effect to those, just so you know. 40% off as well. We like that.
Yeah, that will go really well with this collection. Yeah, I agree.
So you've got those little background elements that we've got in these flourishes. They would work beautifully with those little Christmas cards that you're seeing on the deal of the day. Please do check the deal of the day every day, because they put something on it, and some of them are crazy offers that we see in there.
Well spotted, Taz.
Well done, Miss Taz. So yeah, we've got all of these elements coming in, all of the little tuck-ins. Obviously, these are the vignettes. That's the artwork that you get for free from the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. However, they are gorgeous, cut in white and cut in variants as well. Also cut in vellums. Super, super pretty.
I mean, this is such a versatile collection and beautiful collection. Now, these butterflies, what you can do with these butterflies, you are not going to believe. I'll show you some finished cards in a minute. That's stunning with these.
So Dave came in this morning and he said, I don't understand the butterflies because they're butterflies. And I said, no, you wait until you see it. if you look at these, they're gradient for a start. So you've got the very dark ones and they go through to the slightly smaller ones in the light, and that's the 3 different colourways. So the blue, the kind of fawn colour, and then that gorgeous kind of rose that I don't know how to say it really. It's like a burnished rose colour. It's really pretty, and it goes up to that lighter colour. Now that all matches in with the Perfect papers perfectly, but what Carnation have done is this. When you download your vignettes,
look at this.
You also get a Miss Taz in the background. Ooh. Miss Taz hasn't seen these yet. You also get these templates at the bottom. These are on your vignettes. They're free. So you've got one that is a crescent moon, one that is kind of, it's almost, I suppose, Christmas tree shaped, if you liked. Then you've got the full panel that we've got here. You've got one that just curves off, which is kind of narrower. It's like if you think of fonts where you think of your normal and then your bold, those two are like your
Can I just pop this in to show some? Look at that.
So where we've got this here, thanks Dave. So where we've got this one here, actually I think it's this one, you've got that shape.
That's amazing.
So you can see how these come together. They're so incredible. It's what, sorry? Miss Taz is saying things to me. But you can see how we raise the wings to create that effect of it in flow, in flourish. And it's just so beautiful. And see how we mix in with your mirrors here as well. Beautiful.
And just looking at the graduation of colour, that is so stunning. And again, that's done for you. The artwork you can print off right now, but to have all of those butterflies in all of those different designs as well, absolutely spectacular. And you can cut actually all of them out at the same time, depending on the size of your machine. You can do at least about 15 butterflies in one pass. They're on strips, so you can easily do clusters of them together. And we come on to some of the verses as well.
Yeah, so the sentiments that we've got. So Carnation didn't do what lots of companies do, which is go for the very quiet, small, almost hidden sentiments that we get often on sympathy cards. And I love that they didn't, because sometimes when we say to somebody, I'm thinking of you, for whatever that purpose is, to say it big and bold sometimes is the most important thing we can do. I'm here with heartfelt sympathy. And I love the font that they chose. I love how gentle it is, how beautiful it is, and how much that sentiment says in the middle of a card, because it's not shying away from the subject. We can't shy away from those subjects. You know, we know it's a very, very difficult time, but it is saying in bold letters, with heartfelt sympathy, I am sorry. You know, it's that beautiful sentiment that's there. But my favourite of the two, and I love it so much because I think it's correct.
Celebrating a wonderful life. Yeah.
Isn't that perfect?
That is perfect, yeah.
Because it's what we should do, I think, you know, and it's, I was talking yesterday on the Facebook Live, and I'm not going to go massively into it, but I did lose my best friend. It's coming up for his anniversary on New Year's Day, and it's one of the hardest things that I've ever been through, and the handmade cards that I got at that point are the most important cards probably that I've ever received. Even topping the ones that I got when my babies were born, because it was people reaching out saying you're not on your own. It's okay, you're not on your own. And that support that you feel through a card is incredible and incredibly helpful when a time feels very bleak. So these are just wonderful, aren't they? They're so nice to have.
And you know, you said it so well, but to get the right words, to get the right image, to say what you want to say in the right way is one of the most crucial things. It's probably the most important card you can send to someone, to tell them that you're thinking of them and you're there. And maybe you're asked as a card maker by someone else to make a card for a sympathy reason. Then this collection is going to just you know, do the right thing and say the right thing in the right way. But as we've said before, the butterflies for general crafting, the dove for general crafting. The only thing really that says sympathy are the verses and the words. So this isn't just, you know, for that purpose. You can use this collection in lots of ways. But can I really kind of reach out to you and say, if you're going to go for this today, obviously whenever you buy a collection, you want it to go as far and work for you as best as possible. If that's the case, can I suggest you going for these wonderful matting and layering die collections? These are stunning, and you're going to get the whole lot. You're going to get every shape you wish. You're going to get your diamonds, you're going to get your rectangles, circles, ovals, squares, that gorgeous texture plate that actually looked like fabric. Unbelievable. And then you've got your DL as well, which I know is still a very popular size. But what you've got on this, if I just show you on one of these cards so you can see exactly the effect that you can create with it. You've got this Hessian rough edge around the edge of it. I've never seen matting and layering cards or nesting dies like this before. Really beautiful, really different, and the die does all the detailing for you to give you that look of like burlap or Hessian or even raffia, maybe to a certain extent.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Somebody said yesterday the edges look like tinsel when they're got on the boards, which is kind of true, they do.
Well, if you did that in mirrored cards,
I know,
it would look like tinsel.
Yeah, it would, for Christmas decorations.
But how different?
Really pretty. I think this is where Carnation shine, as far as I'm concerned, more than most other companies, is when they come to doing their nested dies, because, as I've said to you so many times, to me nested dies are the most important dies that we can own. Not least because it's the backing to every card that we can make. It's a card shape if we want it to be a card shape. It's all the layers, it's your sentiment panels, it's your mats and your layers, it's your apertures, it's everything. So all of those basic, those fundamentals, and the reason that Carnation do it better than anybody else is because they're always thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
So when you think of things like the eyelet and ring nested dies, the shabby nested dies, the crystalline nested dies, all the different ones that they've done, and then they've done it again now with the Hessians. They're amazing.
And remember the discount code that we've got for you. This is a treat for you. You can't use it in conjunction with other discount codes, maybe from the magazine or anything like that. But certainly, as you're watching us on TV, you can take advantage of this. So if you're tempted to go for the Held in Your Hearts collection and those fantastic nesting dies as well, the 10% discount will come off everything. So you'll save even more money by going for the bigger collection. And yeah, it's HIO, so for Held in Our Hearts.
Hi-yo, hi-yo.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, hi-ho. HIO H10, that will then get you your 10% discount if you go for that on its own, if you go for the Held in Our Hearts on its own, or if you go for the two together, you'll get that even better value for money, that even better saving. And maybe pop your perfect papers in there as well at the same time. The whole thing then will be discounted by 10% and free P&P as well. And that'll be a lot coming your way in the next few days. And the guys at Carnation are absolutely brilliant, because as soon as you place your order, they're picking and packing it straight away. And in most occasions, it's in the post to you just after you've literally made your order. So while you're doing that, and once you've done that, and lots of you did it last night as well as they're doing it now, check out the website, carnationcrafts.co.uk, and print off all the artwork. That's what I love about it. You can sit there right now, see the artwork, look forward to the dies arriving in the next couple of days. But this is what the boards will show you, how you can use these nesting dies.
So apologies for being a donut before and getting the Hessian plate mixed in with the others, but this is the Hessian plate and I love it. So, I mean, that just looks like a piece of burlap, right? Now it's textured. I tried to do this yesterday. You won't be able to hear it now, but you can hear my nail going across it because it's fully textured on the plate there. And it's absolutely stunning as your backgrounds, and obviously we can cut into it. Now, what you can do with this, which I think is really great as well, if you cut it as it is on your die so that you get all of the kind of detailing on it, and then use that as another piece to be able to cut other dies from that you've got in your collection, so that you have that textured design. So certain things like cutting out, for instance, a rose with that Hessian would just look so pretty. So get that put through your die cutting machine first, then start adding other dies on the top as well to start creating texture on all of your different designs. It's amazing for that. What's wrong, Miss Taz?
So Hessian is so in with like wedding.
It is massive.
That's made it so much easier.
Yeah, to do all your wedding stationery, to do all of those. It's massive at the minute, it's Hessian. It's got a really massive turn
kind of a rustic look.
It has. So you can get all of this coming in. It's obviously got its own card base. It's got your mat obviously there as well, and then that base plate. So it's the perfect backing for everything. And again, it goes so well kind of with that very gentle sympathy element. The backing papers and the perfect papers that you see for today's collection are absolutely extraordinary, and you'll find that these Hessian pieces just pair with it so beautifully. So when we're looking at these, for instance, and you're looking at those, if you were to cut this out, so you've got your Hessian plate, and then place your diamond on top of here, and cut that from this, you would get that burlap kind of shape as well with it. It just beautiful.
But also looking at what those little spikes going all the way around remind me of, they could be pine needles for a Christmas card, couldn't they?
Yeah, they could. Aren't they sweet?
Yeah.
I love things that are tactile. I'm somebody who's very much, I love sort of touchy. I've got ADHD and it's what we do. I know, it's ADHD, we can't help it. So, but to me, stuff like this is just really, I want to play with it. So I love the diamonds very much. We go on from there. We have got the DL as well, which we would expect. That's going to be really powerful as banners going across the bottom of your card as well, and to create corner edges as well for your cards. Regardless of which size you're doing, you can really go to town on those. Super sweet. One of these would look really cute on comfort of home as a rug on the floor, just saying. Then you have got your rectangle coming through as well. So you can see the same idea exists around those edges, but how we start to take those shapes. This one reminds me a little bit of a stickle brick, if anybody remembers stickle bricks from the days of old. It's got that feeling of a stickle brick, but I love it. I love it. I love that I can make apertures. We were saying yesterday, to be able to put 3 of these side by side, to be able to create an edge where you've got a gatefold or something along those lines. And
Carnation come up with new ideas. You must be thinking, oh, how many different designs can I have of nesting dies? I've never seen nesting dies like this before.
I mean, I'll say it again, nesting dies, your most important dies. As far as I'm concerned, they're the ones that are going to carry you through all your crafting for years and years and years to come. And also, you know, Carnation can't bring us nested dies every time they give us a collection. Of course they can't. It would be way too much work. These are massive processes when we're creating nested dies. So it's a case of when they do, you know, they do manage to get those to us, that we grab them because they're the ones that we're going to use the most. They're the ones that no matter what card you're making, that's the one we can go to and be able to craft with. My favourite is the circle. I just think it's incredibly special. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dies there. I don't know how many is in each one, and how much that would work out as far as dies are concerned. But if you see this as a big collection just of the actual Hessian collection, that is a massive amount of dies in this collection. Huge amount of dies.
And giving you a totally different look that you've never been able to achieve before.
Every time.
Yeah.
So there's your squares here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in your squares. Just gorgeous for all of your apertures and various different things. Sue says, morning Carla, Dave and Taz. Sorry I'm late, I dropped my biscuit in my tea. It's never a good thing. That's never a good thing. And then you've got your gorgeous oval here as well. So beautiful.
Do some quick maths.
Quick maths.
45 dies.
45 dies.
45 dies. How much is that per die, Miss Taz? Do we know?
120.
89.
Ooh.
And does that include the Hessian edge plate as well? So £2.
89.
£2.89
per
for a die. That is insane. Pam says, it's correct, June, just the foliage, they're not the quick card shown colour. Okay, so deal of the day. Go and check it and look through it, because I haven't seen it. That's the first time I'd seen it, and I can just read cards because I don't have my glasses on. So thank you very much to Pam.
So let me just remind you.
Checking that.
Let me just remind you of the deals we've got for you. The best option, obviously, from a card making and a crafting point of view, is to go for both. Now, we are obviously very well aware everyone's got a budget. So we put it into 2, but if you go for the main collection, bearing in mind we've got the HIOH10 discount code, you'll save more by buying the 2 together, and they work together so well, but you can buy them individually if you want to. The perfect papers are there as well, and you've seen on the artwork that we've shown you already, these beautiful pastel shades in perfect papers, 48 sheets, A4 in size, you get 6 colours, 8 of each, and they're 300 GSM. If you put them all into your basket, that's what your basket will look like, 244.97. You can forget that though, because the special code, HIOH10, gets you £24.50 off. That is pretty amazing. Free shipping as well, free postage, so you can then choose to either pay in full, that 220.47, or you can actually, of course, split it into 4 with clear pay. That would be £55.12, your first payment today, no P&P to worry about. If you PayPal pay in 3, you're looking at £73.49, your first payment of 3. Okay, but I think this is such a unique collection and such a brilliant collection that's going to solve so many problems from a card maker's point of view, from your point of view. When you get asked for a sympathy card, when you need a sympathy card for yourself and you're thinking, I've got nothing that's appropriate. You do something, you think, is that good enough? Am I saying what I want to say? Then this is going to help you do just that. 221 101 is just this collection on its own, with all those butterflies, those beautiful charms, the main card shape, the hourglass, all of that for just under £100. And of course you've got ClearPay or PayPal Pay in 3 available on that as well. Loads of you calling through on the Facebook today. Pam Simpson's, thank you Pam, she says yes, I think that's correct June, just the foliage, they're not the quick cards that were shown. Morning Carla and Taz, sorry I'm late, oh yeah, you dropped your tea and your biscuit and your tea. Beautiful yet again, Sandra Cinemacy, and also morning to all the new Carnation crafters. I love the artwork from Angela Swarbrick, loads of you getting in touch. And maybe it's your first ever purchase with us. Maybe you didn't realise Carnation Crafts had their own TV channel. We've been going now for about, what, 7 months?
March,
I
believe we started.
Yeah.
There's maths, I don't know the numbers.
And one time each month.
What's wrong? 9 months.
Is it 9 months?
March, yeah.
March,
9 months.
April.
I'm pretty sure it was March.
Yeah.
My memory tells me it was March. Spring forward, yeah, in March.
Well, we do this every month. One collection that we launched that's exclusive to us. You won't get this anywhere else for the time being. So if you know you want to get hold of this, get it today while we've got the discounted price. We'll crack on with some demos in a second. And then I'll show you, after the demo, I'll show you some finished cards that the design team have done. They're amazing.
Yeah, absolutely stunning collection. So I'm going to go in first of all with that base card. So the hourglass card shape, or the infinity card shape as I call it, but I'll get into trouble for doing that too much, but the hourglass one. Scored, so we've cut the main piece, the largest die, we've scored at 1/2 inch red liner tape, you know the drill, and we just take that off, fold that back towards yourself, towards your body, so that it stays away from the one that we're putting in front of it. Shuffle the two together, butt it up against something. I'm using my multimedia mat, and just pushing that down there. And that's it, that's your card base sorted. Now obviously we can have that in portrait, or we can have that in landscape, whichever way you choose to craft, it doesn't matter either way. Then I've got my mats and layers. Now I'm going to give a shout out here to the Perfect Papers and to the backing papers. While you're on the website and you're getting your vignettes, and you can do that by going to the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. All you need to do is go to downloads, and when you go there you can click free downloads, and it takes you to a page that allows you to choose which artwork you want to download.
There they are.
Where it says collections, you'll put Held in Our Hearts for this one, and it will bring up all the dies that are, all the vignettes that are available for this collection. So you can see at the top there you've got the inserts that are free, you've got the backing papers that are free, you've got all of your, you can see the Hessian edge texture plate, can you see that there at the edge? Free. And then you've got all of your vignettes, and one of those will be the full collection. You can download that. For those of you that are brand new to Carnation and have never ever downloaded a vignette before, you'll get 2 different types. So when you open it, it will be a PDF document, and for just say for example it had 4 pages on it, it won't, it's going to have about 60, but just say it had 4 pages on it. Number 1 will be an image, and it will just be maybe 3 of the same image on a page, whichever way you look at it. Number 2 will be different. It will have the same image on it, but it will have a black line down the centre, and there'll be less images on it as a rule. And what we do is we fold on that black line, and you spray the inside. Print it onto ProPrint if you can. Spray the inside and pop your die on top, put it through your machine. We're hoping to start bringing some more cutting demos to you, but I just need to work out how to do that within the studio. But you put that through your machine and you get what's called a mirrored vignette, and that means that you've got your image on the front of that vignette, but you've also got it when you turn it, so the image is also on the back of the vignette, so it's the same both sides.
So if you want that dove to be flying left,
the opposite
or
way,
right, that's what it allows you to achieve. Basically you've got a back and a front, but also a left and a right with all the images too. And all of that artwork, all those papers, you know now that all of your colorways are going to coordinate beautifully. There'll be no accidents, there'll be no clashes, and it's all there for you to print off right now, absolutely free of charge. That will be in your hands this afternoon, or now, this morning, and then the dies will arrive in the next day or 2. If you order now, it'll be packed, picked and shipped straight away. That's how good Carnation are.
Always good to know. So we're starting to bring in our mats and layers here. I'm working with a 3mm foam tape because I like the depth to it and I like the shadow to it, but obviously you can work with whichever size foam tape you want, or don't use foam tape at all. If you don't want to, you can of course just use finger lift tape. So I'm pulling these down. I've got 3 pieces. For those of you again who are brand new, I'll just explain the process there. I've got 3 pieces of 3mm foam tape. The central panel I leave exactly as it is because it's purely there for support, and it's so that we don't get a sagging sort of centre to our card. We pull that down halfway. That leaves me with the edges here and the centrepiece where I've still got that slip and slide. I can get that to exactly where I need it to be without it sticking before I commit to anything. Once I know I've roughly got it in the right place, now I can't lean over, so I'm not the best at doing this, but I can then push here, and that's going to make my adhesion work, and then I can pull that away and that will sit in place exactly where I want to be.
Well. I could watch you do that for hours.
Just pull it away. It's like one of those ASMR thingy-majiggies that I don't understand. Right, what I've done here, can you see where it's pink inside on that?
Yep.
Okay, so what we've got is my perfect papers. I've cut the figure 8 just in the perfect paper in the pink. Using some foam tape, can you see that? I've just backed the white. And how pretty is that?
That's lovely.
Now, if we use some foam tape there to do that, it gives us that shadow play, which is just so effective. Now, I'm going to carry on building with that. That's not the end of where I want to be. I want to start building layers with this, and I wanted to be able to show you how to use it as a building block, so to speak. So that's going to be my base plate here, and then I'm going to carry on working upwards. So it's super easy to do, super easy to use. I'll just use a bit of pin flare just to chuck this down for now. Actually, I need some wet glue.
Debbie Thomas has got in touch with us from Boston, USA.
Oh, hey, Debbie.
It's middle of the night there, isn't it, in Boston, I think?
I don't know the answers to the things.
But she says, love Carnation Crafts, the best there is. Thank you.
Oh,
brilliant.
Thank you, Debbie.
And also Suzanne Page says, morning, Craig. Morning, Carla and Dave and Miss Taz. In recovery after a busy weekend away doing my other passion, went to Birmingham. And you're aiming to improve your health. Well, good luck with that, Suzanne. Absolutely. I always find that, it kind of goes a long way. If I'm crafting, I go into kind of a really kind of my own space.
Cathartic space.
Yeah. And it kind of chills me out a bit. So.
I was doing some crafting last night, Dave. I was doing some alcohol ink stuff. It was very exciting.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Right, I'm just going to take some of these pieces off. I don't want to take all of it off. I'm just doing enough to create the adhesion and to make sure that I stay supported throughout it. Now I'm going to try, you're going to have to just bear with me because I've got really, really grey hair. I'm sorry, and you'll have to go, is the answer, because I need to see where I'm going. I think I'm roughly there. Am I roughly there?
I think so.
Just let me see if I can just get a...
Sandra's excited. She says, my order has been confirmed. It's on its way. Yahoo!
There we go. Look at that. That clean, white, fresh build-up of all those pieces. And then I'm just going to take this and do the same. So you can see how I'm really building here. And I'm building that kind of chunk, that lovely chunky piece, because for me it's so pretty. Now I can start to build things into this. I could put things in those centerpieces. And I'm just, again, I've got 3mm, so I'm taking this through all the way with that chunky foam tape. Place that on to the edge there. Now when I turn that, look at my layers. Really beautiful, big and chunky vibrancy.
Carnation cards really do make a statement in the right way. They stand out. They stop you in your tracks. If you're selling your cards, people are going to be drawn to them. But more importantly, certainly with this sort of theme, if you're sending it to a special person in your life, a friend, a neighbour, someone at work or whatever, you want it to be extra special. You want to know that you care and that you're thinking about them. And this sort of card will go a long way to do that. It really will.
So I've got all my elements coming through here that I can use for various different pieces depending where I want to go with the card. So I've just bought a few little elements that I can use to play with. Now I love this rose. Can you see how that charm sits in between itself? So they sit attached.
Have you done that double-sided?
Little rings. Yes. Yeah. So I could theoretically leave that loose hanging on a tag for a card, and that would just sit. I could pop something through there and just hang that as a charm on top of a Christmas card, a present or a birthday present, something along those lines. So very, very sweet in that way. What I am actually going to do with the roses, let's have a look, let's play. There's my little heart, and I'm going to take that first and I'm going to use a little bit of pin flare. What I'm going to do is try and just find my central point in the card visually so that I can work from it and work outwards. So I'm just going to place this down with pin flare. The reason I'm using pin flare is there's every chance I'm going to have to move that. If I stick it with anything that, you know, has that immediate adhesion quality to it, I'm stuck. That's all I can do with it. So pin flare gives me those extra options. It allows me a little bit of playway.
And I love the idea that you can actually split that heart into two. A bit like with the jewellery in the jewellery world, where one person has one half of the heart, the nearest and dearest has the other half of the heart. You can do that if you want to.
It's so sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, really
so
sweet.
I'm just building in these little elements here. So I'm just tucking these through. You don't have to tuck them through, but I quite like to if I can. I'm just going to get too fiddly and you're going to get mad with me. So I'll just place them here. I am going to glue a little bit of that just at the bottom. But obviously when you're at home, you can just tuck them all through. I don't have the best use of my hands at the minute, so I do apologise. They're a little bit sore at the moment, so I'm not as bendy as I normally am with my hands. So I apologise for that. I'm going to do the same again here. Add in that extra piece of foliage and just place. Look how pretty they are. Isn't that just
I love the idea of
gorgeous?
charms out of cardstock. Never thought of that before.
Well, Carnation are good at doing the things that people don't think of. I think that's their power, isn't it? It's their superpower. You could slap some spandex on them and call them the superheroes of the crafting world.
Slap some spandex on them. That's a quote and a half.
Alison say top tips on stop your machine plates marking your cardstock. I mean, my best tip is cut tidy. I don't mean that just in a sales way, but it does. You know, it helps an awful lot when we're trying to stop that marking coming through. There are other ways that you can do it. You can use greaseproof paper is another way of doing it.
I know people that just use copier paper. That seems to do the trick.
You can do copier paper. There's different ways. A lot of it is about experimenting because sometimes it depends on the machine that you're using as to how deeply scarred your plates become, because that's obviously going to create a difference for you there. Right, I'm just popping these in at opposing ends. So see how I'm moving that love heart now? I needed that freedom of movement. Guys, how pretty is that?
That's stunning, isn't it?
I haven't done anything and it's already just stunning. So what I'm going to do, just very, very
And also, does that have to
gently.
be a sympathy card?
No. Oh, this would make a beautiful wedding card.
Yeah, it would.
It?
Engagement, civil partnership, anything like that. Perfect.
Now, I've got options here with the butterflies. I can go up the other side or I can continue on. I'm going to continue on because I like the continuation idea within the sort of sense of it being the everlasting, the infinity. So I'm just going to place this one here and I'm going to work my way at opposing sides in the same format. So the darker butterflies first, so we're using that kind of light element that's coming through. Place it down.
And of course, the main shape of that card could also be significant in signifying eternal love.
Oh, Dave,
Eternal
you're romantic.
It could be though, couldn't it?
We have eternal
Never-ending love,
Dave.
never-ending friendship. Absolutely.
We've got eternal love.
Absolutely.
Right, I'm just going to place another one here. I think Dave wants to run away right now, just saying.
Hi Alison, hello Christine Brown as well, all getting in touch on Facebook. Lots of you have placed your order and your orders are on the way. They literally come through to the office, the warehouse get the order, it gets picked, it gets packed, and very often some people say they actually get their order the next day. We can't guarantee that, but certainly it won't be long at all before you're playing with these dies at home.
They send everything first class, so then it's in the hands of the mail department at that point. So they do everything they can. So I'm just flourishing these butterflies through, and then I'm going to do the same at the opposite side. Just bring that round. So I'm just putting it on the body of the butterfly and then just pushing down with my pokey so that adhesion grabs. You've got that quick grab on your adhesion. And then finally the last one. And just pop a little bit of adhesive there and bring that round. So we're just circling through on that infinity shape, that beautiful hourglass shape.
That's gorgeous.
Push that down.
Absolutely gorgeous.
There
What about
you go,
that?
guys.
Stunning, isn't it?
Is that not incredible? Do you want me to lift it up, Taz?
Okay. Oh no.
And just hope that all my butterflies don't fall off.
Let me show you as well some of the design team's fantastic projects. Imagine that on a mantelpiece, on a window ledge or whatever. Absolutely a show-stopping card, as you always expect that with Carnation, and they never disappoint. They really, really don't. Now, I always look forward to seeing the design team's cards as well, because it's always lovely to see someone else's take on the theme. Now, these two have just blown me away.
I haven't seen them all.
Okay. Sue DeRimple. Hello, Sue. You're a regular design team member. OMG.
I'm going to intervene in a second, Dave, because I just want to talk about these. I don't know if it's exactly what Sue's done, but the templates that you get within the vignettes here, you can print them on A4. Can you just, is that right? Am I right? Just stop where you are, Taz. Can I just ask you to turn that towards me a minute, Dave? Just let me, I don't know if it has or not. Can you see here where my nail is?
Ah, there's the template.
There's the template.
So Sue's followed the template.
So if you want to do A4 cards, all you need to do is print out that template on ProPrint paper and pop it on the front of an A4 card, and you can use that. Now, obviously, with most printers that are modern day printers, we can also change the size of the print that we're doing. So you could theoretically reduce it by 50% and have an A5. That's also an option for you.
But also, Sue has changed the colour. You do get different colours of the butterflies. And look, this one is in a beautiful kind of sepia, almost grey, and it's going the other way.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Gorgeous is that? That's the sort of card that I've not seen anything like that before anywhere else.
Because it's Carnation.
Absolutely.
We expect Carnation to be different. You know, Carnation have become leaders in the field as far as creating dies are concerned for card making. I'd say I would go as far as to say that they pioneer card making.
Yes.
And we have come to a point, I think, as crafters where we would expect nothing less than breathtaking, and that's what we get with them every time.
Janine Dawson, let's give you a credit as well. Lovely, lovely card with the dove, and of course the flowers dangling down there on the right hand side. This is another one from Sue. This one is technically called the Broken Heart, but remember it is a whole heart unless you physically snip the top and the bottom to make it in two. And that doesn't necessarily have to mean breaking up or anything like that. It means that one person has half the heart, the other person has the other half, and when they get together, they join together. There again, that beautiful dove. That was this one's done by Lavinia Newton. Stunning. And see what I mean about having the double-sided vignettes, because you've got the same dove going left, same dove going right, so it gives you that extra versatility, and they're actually almost hugging the heart, which is really lovely. So 221101, this is what you're going to be getting if you go for that. Now, this is the main body of the collection. We have also got those fantastic mats and layers for you, which just work together with this so well. But if you just want to go for this, it's $99.99 with a good discount. That's about 35 off the price, £35 saving, nearly £36 saving. And that's 221101. If you would like, though, to consider going for the mats and the layers, these beautiful nesting dies with this raffia or Hessian edge to it, which is so different, very unusual. You're going to get your diamonds, rectangles, circles, ovals, squares, the texture plate, which actually really does look like material, and then you've got your Hessian edge in DL as well. They're available as a separate bundle, but they go together, if you know what I mean. So they really do work well together, but we're obviously very well aware not everyone can afford the whole cost. So if you just want to go for these nesting dies, 221110, $129.99. And how many dies was it, Taz? 48.
48, I think you said. Was it
48 dies?
42?
45. 45 dies. 45 dies in total, 221110, you write a number there. And then, of course, the icing on the cake, as always, with all the collections are the perfect papers. 48 sheets, 300 GSM, 6 colours, 8 of each. They work with the artwork, the vignettes beautifully. And if you put all 3 things in your basket, you haven't got to worry about postage. It's free P&P when you spend over £50 in the UK. If you're in the USA, it's $5 postage, or £5, sorry, postage if you buy the main collection. If you chuck in or put in your perfect papers into your basket, then the postage goes up to $14.95, but that will ship to any part of the USA for you. But there we are. You can go for all 3, and if you do go for all 3, we can show you what your basket will look like. Don't forget that all-important discount code, the 10% off, HIOH10, okay? If you put that code in, HIOH10, you'll then get $24.50 off the combined price of both of those kits together with the perfect papers as well. That's a saving not to be sniffed at, and you can enjoy interest-free with PayPal Pay in 3 or Clear Pay with up to 4 interest-free payments. Okay, we've got about 10 minutes left. We can do one more demo, hopefully.
I'm going to scoot through. So can I just say first, we've had a question from Christine Brown, which the question is, which adhesives do we use? Which glue do we use? Thank you, Christine, for the question. And it's not a simple, straightforward thing. However, it's as simple or as straightforward as you need it to be. So I'll break it down for you as quickly and as easily as I can. When I'm creating my card bases and I'm attaching two together to create a card base, I use red liner tape. I use red liner tape because it's the strongest and it's the least likely to come apart when it's in postage. If I'm doing my mats and layers, I tend to use finger lift tape if I'm not using foam tape, but when I'm using foam tape, obviously I go through with that instead. If I'm sticking down my vignettes and they are completely flat and I don't need, you know, any kind of raise on it, any kind of definition, I use what's called the everyday glue. I use this, it's the Carnation one, and it's got the days of the week on, but that's kind of just tongue-in-cheek. It's a bit of fun. It's because you get 7 bottles and it's called everyday glue. Now it's a PVA glue, and the reason that I use this one, not just actually because I am here sitting for Carnation, which would be the obvious reason, but I actually use this, and Miss Taz will back me up on this, I use this in my own time with my own crafts. So I'm a quiller by nature. I quill for as such a living, and this is the glue that I use for that. And the reason I use it is Carnation's PVA has got a really low water content on it. That means that I don't have that kind of runny effect. It doesn't seep between the very kind of fine filigree that I have. It doesn't splodge, and it dries fast. Enough wiggle time for me to move stuff, but then it dries fast, it dries solid, it dries clear, all the things that I need as a crafter. So that's your everyday glue, which you'll find on the website. If I'm looking for dimension, then I always use
the Pin Flare.
Pin Flare, which is a silicone, like it's a gel glue, and you can also find that on Carnation's website.
Now I know we need to get another demo in. I just want to quickly say hello to a couple of people on Facebook. Sue Martin says, Carnation crafts are so unique, incredibly beautiful, and cover all my needs, even those I didn't know I needed, that you've become my only go-to place now. That's fantastic news. Plus, of course, you're also friendly and amazing tutorials. Thank you. Thank you, Sue. Suzanne Page says, absolutely gorgeous cards from the wonderful demos from the design team as well. Linda McLeod says, OMG, I want it all. And Eileen says, Carla, we all have grey hair. We all have grey hair. No need to apologise.
Do you know what's really bad? None of you need to know this, but it gets really bad when the chin hairs are also grey. That's become a thing, apparently. Apparently my moustache and my beard are also grey.
So is mine.
Sorry, Taz. Am I not supposed to say that? It's true. It's really true.
Taz's jaw has dropped to the floor. So
you wait. You wait.
Yeah. Yes.
And they get real, like, wiry as well. Nobody needs to know this conversation. Stop talking, Carla. Right, let's go to a demo. So what I've done on this one is I've got a larger piece. So I can't remember what the actual size of this was. I think it's an 8x9. I've made it slightly longer at this side. Now I've cut one of the Hessian rectangle plates in blue and one of them in pink, and I've used the natural blush perfect papers, natural blush papers to create this in the centre, so you've got that cream tone coming through. And I've stuck those bits down already, and you can see that this is my card base. The reason I've stuck it down already is because in order for me to work out exactly which is halfway, I needed to know that it was exactly in place. So I know that that is exact. Linda says, I have tweezers for my chin hair, Carla. Dude, I'm beyond that. I need like one of those, you know, people cut hedges. I think that's where I am at the minute.
I think I need a lawnmower for mine.
And then I was about to say something else. I need to stop the talking. No. Right, I've scored ½ an inch and I've put red liner tape
I think sometimes we forget we're on TV. It's just like having a gossip in the kitchen, really, isn't it?
Well, again, it's the ADHD brain, which has just got no filter. I'm just like, yeah.
That's what we love about you. No filter.
No filter.
No filter Bagshaw.
And yes, I have got myself into trouble with my gob many times. I do apologise to anybody at home I may have offended with my beard. It offends me as well, if it's any consolation. So I'm just going to take this piece on here. I've got it set so that I've got my red liner tape on, so that when that opens, my red liner tape isn't showing just here, and it means that I've got that edge to go by. So I'm just going to whip those off.
And aren't the colours of the perfect papers really subtle?
Oh, they're stunning in this collection.
They
The
really
perfect
are.
papers. Listen, I always love the perfect papers because it means I can't go wrong. But sometimes Carnation just bring out these colours in the perfect papers that are just so beautiful. When you see the gradient going through here with this very soft colour.
And you can see the difference between that and the white behind it. but it's such a soft pink, isn't it?
It is gorgeous. So I'm just overlapping my centre point here. Isn't that so pretty already? I'm not worried about the overlap. I could have cut it down, but the reason I didn't is because I'm going back in with another of these over the edge. Okay, so that's just going to sit where it is. You can see I've only covered half with my red liner tape. It's going to be a day, Dave. It's going to be a day.
That red liner tape, the static, it sticks to everything, doesn't it?
Oh, I find it in my bed. I find it in my bath. It's attached to my cats.
It's where I find glitter that worries me. But anyway, that's another story.
Well, Mr. Dave, talk about me saying the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Let us know as well. What do you think about us doing shows a little bit earlier? 9 o'clock we started in the UK. Normally we do like a bit later, 11.
Yeah.
Do you prefer the earlier ones? Do you prefer the later ones? Let us know.
I love that contrast between the blue and the pink. I think that gradient with that very soft, the reason I use natural blush, obviously, instead of white, is so that we don't have that stark contrast. What we have is a very beautiful, gentle softness that goes through. Then I have got this cut in the very, very soft tone on those perfect papers, using a 3mm foam tape here, and I'm just taking the edges off. I don't need to take that centre point off, and just come through. Look at that. Isn't that just so pretty? It's gentle and soft, this whole collection.
I love the subtle differences. Yeah.
It's just so pretty. Now, what I'm going to do here is just add in these two little filigree pieces. You don't have to. I just like the look of it as just a little extra element there.
And those can be used completely independently on their own.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. They're like guitar picks.
Yeah, I suppose they are.
Right, now I advise you to do this with tweezers at home, but mine kind of splay outwards, so I can't. My tweezers.
Oh, what have you done to those?
I mean, Dave, it's me. Who knows? Can you see? It's like a
they've got Bambi legs.
A dancing girl. So I'm just going to place it, but I would advise tweezers. The reason I would advise tweezers is that you can get the set space that you need it to be in at the right time without it slipping. So do as I say as opposed to as I do, if that makes sense. And then I will take this. Is it a bit maftin or is it me, Dave?
A bit what?
Maftin.
What's maftin?
Hot.
Yes, getting a bit warm.
I didn't have a clue either.
Maftin, I've never heard that before.
Maftin.
Is that a Yorkshireism?
I just think you don't know the words.
Not educated.
I refuse. It is. I think it's actually an East Yorkshireism.
Ah, okay. Yeah, it's a bit warm, but it's all right. It's not as bad as it was in the summer. It was like a sauna in here in the summer.
The melty season.
Yep.
Right. So we've got all of that beautiful. Look at how pretty that is. I mean, that is just stunning, right?
That looks almost like porcelain, doesn't it?
It really is stunning. So let's bring some colour into this. I'll be as quick as I can. Actually, I'm not going to rush it. You know what? If we go 2 minutes over, we go 2 minutes over. I'm okay with that. My centre point and place, and then this centre point and place, and then I'm going to go in the opposite direction at the bottom because I love my symmetry and I love the fact that I get the flow line down that beautiful hourglass shape.
I think Carnation just gets you excited because you're doing something that's, you know, it's going to look stunning, that's different to anybody else. You're getting great deals. I mean, Alison Ward says, I've been in the Carnation army some time, but still find free backing papers I've never seen. I've been browsing them lately. Amazing. More shows the better. Thank you, Alison. Lovely to hear from you. How did Alison send that message? Was that through?
Just a moment ago.
Oh, just came. Okay. Oh.
Right, what I'm going to do with the rose very quickly is just shape it. I won't be long, guys.
Oh, it came through on Facebook. I didn't see it, sorry. I didn't realise you could put that on the screen like that. Ah, clever.
Because the rose has got all the different cutting lines inside it, I can go in with the large ball tool and work that shape. Look how pretty it is. Isn't it really gorgeous? And shape all of that out just in one hole. If you're going to do that, work from the outside and work to a spiral towards the end. That'll give you that beautiful dome. If you're alternatively wish to, you can take every single petal and work that separately. So just use a smaller ball tool and work each petal. I'm going to go for the bigger one because we are shorter on time. So I will just do it this way.
Yeah, June Smith says, prefer earlier, please. Okay. Sandra says, anytime. I'm usually up early. Can set the alarm if I need to.
I'm not doing 4 o'clock in the morning, guys. That's a no from me. Also, you don't want me here at 4 o'clock in the morning. Miss Taz is saying
You're just
no.
getting in then, aren't you? From a night out.
Well, let's just say if it's that early in the morning, there will have been no beard removal at that time. Be like Bob Carroll G's on your television screens. Right, I'm just going to use this sentiment and place tiny amounts of glue. So for Christine, who was asking about which glue do you use, if you're using the wet glue, do try and use applicators because it will make things easier when we're working in very fine spaces like this. Always remember, for everyone, that glue is sticky and you do not need a lot of it.
I think it's a bit of a myth that the more glue you put on, the better the result will be. It's the opposite, isn't it?
It's the opposite because the thing is, as I say a lot, you can always add more glue. You can't take it away. And when we're working with delicate spaces, if you only use tiny amounts, you have more choice, or more chance, should I say, of not letting it splodge.
Now, things like the everyday glue and the everyday applicators, they'll be on our website as well, carnationcrafts.co.uk. So if you're there ordering the main collections today, have a little look at all the accessories that will really help your crafting journey along and get results just like this. It's basically a big bundle of your Held in Our Hearts collection plus the layering dies. If you go for that, they were kind of made together, made to go together. We want to be together. Or if you can't run to that, you can go for the Held in Our Hearts collection on its own. That's under £100, so saving nearly £36 off the price. With, of course, we've got ClearPay there for you, which can spread the cost up to 4 payments, and we've also got PayPal Pay in 3. If you've got a PayPal account, you can use that as well. 221101. But I'm judging by the compliments or comments, sorry, not compliments, comments I'm having today on Facebook, it seems a lot of you are going for the big bundle because you're going to get these amazing Hessian edged matting and layering dies in all these different shapes and sizes. I've never seen any nesting dies like this before, and that lovely texture plate as well, which is really handy and really useful to have. If you put your promo code in, which why wouldn't you, it's HI0H10. If you put that in there, 10% comes off your price. You'll save about £24.50 off the price, taking it to £220.47, and that's including, of course, the perfect papers as well, but they are all individually available. Thank you for your company in this hour. Thank you for all your messages as well. We're going to be back in a couple of hours at 12.
Is that right?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Back at 12.
I'll
and
be
also,
here.
third and final show of the day will be at 2 o'clock this afternoon. More from this, but make sure you join us and make sure you place your order out, and see you in about 2 hours' time.